if you are a first-time home buyer, let somebody educate you, because I wish I would have known. I wish I would have been prepared for this stuff. The house buying process and the underwriting and all of that, it's basically, it's like them sticking their whole hand up your, they fishing around and all that. And side note, if you are an entrepreneur, you self-employed, they're double fisting it. Oh, you know, they invading your privacy. Then they pull their arm out and they make you explain everything that's on their arm.
Wow, she really described that, didn't she? Today we're going to go over why some of you may feel like the underwriting process is so invasive to where you feel like this young lady feels. You want to watch the video to the end. We're going to go over bank statements and credit reports and give you some actionable steps to prepare yourself now so that when you're going through the process, it feels like a summer breeze. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Robert, and on this channel, we simplify the home loan process. Leg up.
Like, oh, I see you ate Subway 2 months ago. How much you spent on that? You bet you spending a lot on DoorDash. So see how much. Pap smears don't even look this deep. Nails, lashes, and hair are non-existent right now. Non-existent. I'm just telling y'all because I wish somebody would have told me. Get ready to stress. Get ready to stress. Good luck, though.
A lot of what she was saying about the intrusiveness of an underwriter asking a lot of questions, you have to understand why they're asking those questions, because the goal of someone lending you hundreds of thousands of dollars is for you to pay it back on time, every time, all the time. The number one thing are undisclosed debts. That's what we're looking for, especially if you're a business owner, such as the buy now, I'm going to put it here, buy now, pay later type accounts. A lot of these accounts now, like Affirm, I believe I've even seen an Afterpay show up on your credit report. But this is what we, meaning great loan officers that are underwriters and or underwriters, when they get to that point, we're looking for things like this up front. So guess what? You can look for them before you even prepare to apply. And you say, do I have any of these payments that I'm making monthly that don't show up on my credit report? That's what makes them undisclosed. Another thing that I'm seeing that's going to show up on your bank statement that sometimes may not show up on your pay stubs is child support in the form of Cash App. I'm going to just say Cash App. What's that other one? Zelle. Why are these payments going out in large amounts, right? I'm going to just say large amounts on a monthly reoccurring basis. There's a pattern. So what are those payments for? Because the goal is we need to make sure that you're going to make your payment on time, all the time, every time. Not just because you told me. If it's not documented, as my very first prominent mentor, as she told me, Robert, if it's not documented, it didn't happen. So nobody cares about what you feel like and what you're talking about. We need to see it. And that respectfully as possible. A lot of you guys in business, not business, but business, and you're on all these channels with all these gurus and how to get funding, and it doesn't show up on your credit report. It's going to show up in your bank statement. And we have other reports as lenders that's checking everything. You guys just don't know it. The deal is this. We want to lend you the money. We make money off of interest, or the lending institutions make money off of interest. It's not an adversarial type relationship. It doesn't have to be. We just have to show you have the ability to repay. And if you had that mindset, it'll help you going forward. So any business type of accounts that you have floating out there that might not show up on your credit report, if you think about it, who does that really serve? Okay. Because the goal is you need to be able to make your payment on time, all the time, every time. So you need to know what your monthly expenses are. So you're not on TikTok or something a year from now when taxes and insurance adjust, as they always do, and they have, crying about somebody set you up because you knew what the deal was before you borrowed the money. And what you knew was what you really have as far as expenditures are concerned. I digress. Recurring payments, as I stated before, any Cash App, Zelle, payments that are going out on a monthly basis. Why is that happening? Gonna want to know what that is, because are they undisclosed debts? Okay, or are they just cash payments and things of that nature? Large cash deposits. What's large? Anything that's over $500. Why? The Patriot Act, first and foremost. And then the last but not least, I see a lot of folks that forget that they have IRS payments. That no harm, no foul. You can have them, but we have to make sure we put them in your DTI, your debt to income ratio. So the purpose of that is to make sure you have the ability to repay the money that you are borrowing. It doesn't have to be a negative adversarial type relationship. For those of you that feel like it's intrusive, it's because you haven't been prepared. That's why you watch these videos, because we make sure you are prepared. In fact, we make sure you have a peace when you go into this transaction, because it's not just about buying, but it's about maintaining it from the beginning to whenever you exit. In fact, if you want to purchase a home and you want to make sure that you have peace while in the home, there's a link in the description of this video. We call it the peace test. Take that test. It'll give you a very good idea as to if you're ready to move forward or if you need some work. And these are the things that we want to do up front to prevent you from having stress. I want you to have peace. So take a few minutes and take that peace test, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. Now, we're going to go into the second area that a lot of people feel like they're being invaded on, and that's your credit report. If you have bad credit, challenge credit, if you've not paid stuff in the past, it's fine. The deal is this: we as lenders have to make sure that whatever was going on that caused those defaulted or negative payment events have passed, they're in the past, and you're back on the right track. Typically, that's gonna be evident for folks that have had challenge credit in the past, but now they have a 12-month minimum or greater history showing that there's no lates from the last or the most recent late payment. We have to make sure you guys have the ability to pay it back, or this whole thing doesn't work. Okay, for those of you that want to borrow the money to buy a home. And now there's extenuating circumstances sometimes, and that's not some of these BS excuses that we come up with. Extenuating circumstances are things that we can document that make sense if you have credit challenges, lates, derogatories that are less than 24 months from your last negative event. I think I made my point there. But here's the deal. We do that by having you write letters of explanation. Why do I say you? I don't know what happened, guys. I can get what you're saying sometimes and help you put it together, right? I get that, but I don't know the day-to-day. So you got to get off your high horse and think somebody's being invasive because you want something. You want to borrow this money. So you have to take the time, slow down, and paint the picture. This happened. And as a result of this happening, my income dropped here. And because of that, I wasn't able to do this, this, and this. And these things happened for this isolated period of time that you can see, because prior to these things, everything was good, right? And then so I went through this. This is what I did to overcome these negative things, okay? And then this is what I'm doing now to prevent these things from happening, because life happens. Sometimes things happen, bad things happen that we don't expect. And so this is what letters of explanations are for. You have to write them. You have to slow down and paint the picture for your loan officer and your underwriter. But here are some things that you're going to have to explain. Disputes. You guys have been on the internet listening to these gurus, okay? And they're telling you to dispute everything. Now that more and more people are getting access to the large language models, the information, you're starting to see how these folks been robbing from you for years, because they were just putting themselves in the middle between the information and yourself and charging you. I'm gonna give you some free game. CFPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Go there. It's a government website, and it will show you how to get your credit right. But if you want someone else to do it for you, understand, if they're disputing everything, you need to know why they're disputing. Credit scores don't mean nothing. Nathan, I want to see your bank statements. That's the blood work, the DNA of who you are as far as character and what's really going on. I digress. Charge-offs. Just because it's charged off, guys, does not mean you don't have to explain it. You have to explain. And fun fact, charge-offs just means that the original creditor doesn't want to pursue that anymore, but that's still a liability that you owe, and they can sell that debt to creditors that buy that paper for pennies on the dollars to try to collect from you. So we don't go too in depth on charge-offs, but again, if you're somebody that now has a 800 credit score and you have 2 trade lines and everything else has been charged off, you're probably not going to get an approval to borrow money, because why was everything charged off? And you've not shown that you got a minimum of 12 months worth of time showing that whatever caused those charge-offs, Chapter 7, what have you, aren't happening anymore. A lot of you guys that go through Chapter 7, after the Chapter 7, you got lates after that. Well, it hadn't been fixed, has it? Or are you just using that to not pay your bills? We need to make sure that you can really make these payments. So charge-offs, you got to watch those. I just mentioned bankruptcy. Chapter 7, Chapter 13 is not a death wish. It's not saying that you're a bad person. It's a tool, but when used correctly, the goal is this: after the 7, after the 13, after I've waited the period of time that I need to wait before I could get back into a large amount of debt, does my credit history show that whatever caused those tools to be used, Chapter 7, Chapter 13, have I shown that situation or those situations are past, because now I got new behavior. That's why the trended data that a lot of you guys are hearing about is so important, because we don't care about right now, because you can hack right now. What have you been doing over the last 2 to 3 years? Trended your behaviors. I digress. Inquiries. This is why a lot of you guys, if you have credit cards, they're always asking you, hey, show us your income, so we could get new, you could possibly get no. They want to see where you're at, but they can see where you are because all these credit agreements that you sign, they're monitoring your credit from a standpoint of inquiries and usage. And so if you have 5 cards and you have all this credit availability, and then one day or 1 month, all of them start getting maxed out, that's a signal. That's a better signal than a credit score. Something's going on. You see what I'm saying? And you'll start seeing these folks shut your credit limits down. And folks are online, well, I paid my credit limits. Why are they shutting it down? Because your behavior is signaling danger. Something's going on. As we go forward and you're looking at these things, I want to give you the why behind it, so you don't feel like this young lady felt and feel like it's always a negative thing. I'm tired of folks complaining. I really am. It's not all bad. You just don't understand. We got to be educated, and that's on us. We got to do a better job. Names. A lot of y'all got all these different name changes, and if you've been married or something of that nature, AKAs, also known as, you may have to write some letters of explanation and saying, these 7 variations is me. Okay. This has gotten so bad to where, like on FHA loans now, we got to get your government name off of your social security card. You have to put your government name on the actual loan documents, the way your folks said that this is who you are when you got here. And why is because of all of the fraud and people lying and saying, well, that's not me because the name is not me. Addresses is the last thing. Prior addresses. 2 years is what we're really looking for. All the addresses that you've lived at, 2 years. You should have a chronological history, and that should be on your actual application. And if you've been living rent-free and things of that nature, we may have to have you give us explanation, because the deal is this: undisclosed debts Do you own those properties? A lot of you guys own the properties. You'd be surprised at how many people conveniently omitted that on the application when they asked that question and they said no. And then I'm asking and talking with them. Not until I pull the credit report and do all the stuff that I have to do on the back end and say, Miss Jackson, do you own 123 Main Street? Oh, I forgot. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. But it's all good. We've been doing this a long time. Again, your lending partner is very important for you to know, like, and trust them. When you trust me, we do all these things up front in a real pre-approval. Luck is not needed. Preparation is needed. If you say, I'm ready, Robert, I want to move forward. And you know what? I've been watching your videos long enough to where I know you're on the internet enough. I like you. And you know what? I trust you. Well, I appreciate that. Here's the next step. Click the link in the description or in the top pinned comment of this video and schedule a consultation. I need to hear what it is that you want to accomplish. Number one. Number two, we need to see if there's a fit so we can move forward. If you're not ready and you're still educating yourself, we got you. Watch these 2 videos. I've curated them myself to help you continue your education until the time you're ready to reach out. My time is up, but I thank you for yours. Let's be good to one another. Let grace abound. Y'all stay blessed. Indeed.